Good afternoon. This is GrandthumbFarms here on Elm Creek 25 doing the Neapolitan Challenge Cereal Tycoon Edition. It's the afternoon before rice harvest. The rice is looking good. When last I left, it was the end of May, and I've been busy in June and July. Late afternoon in May, I did a wood transport and a rock removal. And there's those hogs. And I came back in June. Did a few contracts, hoeing, wood transport, bale wrapping, mowing. I guess a total of 3 bale wrapping. In July, after selling off our daily goods, I mowed our grass and I seeded the corner of the grass where I missed the seeding and I kept forgetting about it. Every time I'd work on the field, that there was one little area that had never been seeded. Got it taken care of. I did a couple of baling and a couple of mowing. We loaded up a trailer's load full of silage and we sold it. Bought some prefab walls that they needed for the house construction. I did one large plowing contract. I decided there's some canola contracts, and I hadn't harvested grain in a while, so I'm gonna see if I can harvest up all the grain possible and maybe get some bonus canola before we move on to the rice harvest next month. And in the last episode I also talked about I talked about it and I was kind of excited about it, thinking about moving to the sugar beet business this year, but the more I got to thinking about it, wouldn't be a good idea to try and do it this year. We just don't have the money. I'm gonna go ahead and wait till next year before we get into that, and we'll just be excited about the grapes. And I am excited about the grapes. I gotta send this carting truck up to this field, and I can't remember where the best entrance to this field is. It might be up here. See if the truck can get there. Unreachable. Get him here and see what happens. Okay, I think I got him on the way. I'm gonna get this big fella up there. I should be thankful for what we have, and we have the grapes, and we'll worry about getting into the sugar beet business next year because the expenses are enough with having to buy the harvester next month or in the next couple of months, and I don't want to overextend ourselves, so I'm gonna just be happy with what we got, and we'll see what the grapes are all about, and then we'll move on to the sugar beets in the next year. That's my plan. Now I'm gonna get this. Let's see if I can get to that field. I don't know that I've ever worked that field before. There's several canola contracts this month, and I'm not going to work late, but I figured I'd get the biggest harvester and then see if I can knock out as many as I can. Some of the contracts are on smaller fields, and this harvester should make short work of those. I'm going to get this going, and we'll see how this canola fest goes. I'll probably be back in the morning after I load everything up and get ready for the rice harvest and see where we're at. Oh, lots of traffic this morning. I'll be back. Well, it turns out there's a covered bridge here, and I don't know that it'd be a good idea to try to bring this harvester across that bridge, so I'm gonna park this here and see if I can find another way. It looks like there's a bypass right here. That's kind of a neat field. Turns out the entrance to this field is that little field that we looked at that had the fire watchtower on it. Huh. This is a neat little area back here. Well, it's not the easiest field to get to, but it sure is pretty back there. I wanted to finish the day off with the canola. Well, a couple of issues. The harvesting was going fine. I ended up having a problem where I wasn't paying attention to disk space. It's also starting to get dark. And I thought about selling these, but instead, I think I'm going to take them over to the train station and store them. And I think I get a $200 or $300 more when it's peak selling time. And I've never done this before, but I've always heard you could do it. So I'm going to head over to the train station and see if I can figure it out. So when it's time to get these out, I just come over here and can fill up there. And it's free to store. I don't know how many liters I can store in there, but kind of big silos, so. I'm going to get the equipment back and we'll see you in the morning. Good morning. I've got hogs in my grapes. Get out of my grapes. Whoa. I want to see if I can do something about these guys. I guess that's considered a forest. Obviously, I've never used these. I'm guessing it gets hay because it looks like that's what's in there. I'll check that out when I come back from selling, but maybe that'll make a difference. So I'm intended to do 5 canola contracts yesterday, and 3 of them were really small. But I ended up only doing 3 because of the issues I had. But besides the grain that I stored, I did make about 1,000 in bonus canola. And I sold over 11,000 this morning. That's great. That's no wood. It was 1 bottled goat's milk and 1 kimchi. The daily goods are going up for sure. I'm going to go get the sides on this trailer so I can harvest my rice. And we'll look at the house when we get back and add whatever wood we can to it and see if we need to buy any other items. And then we'll get started on the rice harvest. I figure we're close enough to the flour mill that even if we get this grain trailer full, it's just a matter of dumping it. And then tomorrow or next month, I'll probably have to go get some wood, and maybe I can get away with not making an extra trip to reconfigure. I do need to clean it though before we start the harvest. I haven't been real good about cleaning here the last few days. Yes, it is hay. And it holds 6,000. I dropped off the goat's milk this morning. It looks like good morning. It looks like the cows eat about 1,000 food a day. They can probably use some more water. Oh, goodness. The goats could use some more water and be topped off with hay, too. Don't tell me it's just bales. Makes sense. Well, I guess I'll go buy a couple of bales of hay. So much for not reconfiguring the trailer. The house is really coming along. Long planks. I think we have at least 1 pallet of long planks. I think that's what's sitting at the sawmill right now. I'm not going to try to put them in my pickup truck. I'm just going to bring them over there this time. I'll activate just the long planks for now. Hopefully this afternoon I'll remember to look again. Well, I decided to try something I've never used before. I gotta stay away from this music. The Albert Bale King. Whoa. And I should have brought my weight with me. Dang it. I didn't think things through. I'll see how it works out. Need to get a couple of bales. This hog control is getting pretty expensive. See how this works here. Pretty sturdy. Of course, I can't see. Whoa, excuse me. Better put my beacon on. I'm hoping with the 2 feeders I have, that'll pull them away from my crops. But I guess only time will tell. Oh, did it already have 6,000 liters in? Maybe it came with 6,000 liters. My goodness. Well, pay attention, live and learn, right? I'm not sure this is the tool that I really needed. It is sturdy, and Giants doesn't make a regular bale spike for the back, or I would have gotten one of those. Typically, that's how I would carry it, is one on the front and one on the back. Okay, I'm going to find some place for this, and then I'll get the rice harvesting stuff set up. I dumped the grass in here. I was going to wait till my second cutting before I covered it. I don't know how smart that is. I probably ought to cover it while it's fresh. That makes sense. I'm going to harvest this field over here first to make it easy on myself to dump the trailer once I have to dump it. Well, just by the nature of having another field, we got more rice. But I'm not real sure how much better we did. I do know that we get to activate the flower again, and that's a good thing. $64.29 is what we have. I want to look to see what we got last time. $45.95 was our previous harvest. So about a 2,000 liter increase from that temporary field. We're coming into our own. I got to thinking about it in those those hog traps. For $500, you get 6,000 liters of hay. When it comes time to refill them, it almost seems like you could tear them down and rebuild them. Prior to placing them, I didn't do any kind of research on them, but since I've placed them down, I looked up a video and found out that there's not going to be anything visual with it. So it is what it is. I would rather not feed the wild hogs. I'd rather trap the wild hogs. That's our only option at the moment. Looking at the used vehicles, there's nothing we can really use right now. And I don't think there's anything we're going to buy today, just because I would hate to purchase the grape harvester today and have it go on sale tomorrow. I intend to get this ox bow. If one of the other ones went on sale, I would consider buying whatever was on sale. This is kind of what I was thinking about. I wish you could get the overloading harvester that also had a hopper on it, but it's one or the other. Either you get a harvester that can hold a quantity of grapes, or you get one that can overload to another vehicle. But because I guess in multiplayer that would be great. It would be nice to be able to drive another vehicle down a nearby road to unload. As it stands, if I get full, I'm going to have to back out in order to unload. I found a stone picking contract that's pretty good. It'll probably take me all afternoon, but I wanted to get my field mulched so I could fill it up at any point if I wanted to. We got our rice fields harvested. We're slowly increasing our income, which is fantastic. Once we get the house built, we'll get the wood income again, and that'll be great. Our greenhouses and productions seem to be really ramping up, which is great. We are moving forward. I'll have to buy a harvester next month before we harvest the grapes. I do appreciate you coming by and spending some of your time with me here today. I thank you. And I hope you see me in the next one. Have a good day.